So a few days ago, I received a package from Woodside Guitars. It was the Woodside Guitar support. Now I did record a unboxing video for this device. I'll place a link for that video somewhere at the top if you want to take a look. In today's video, I'm going to attach this device to one of my classical guitars and then share some thoughts about it. Before I get into all of that, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to my channel, to give this video a thumbs up when you get a chance, and thank you for watching my video. The Woodside Guitar support does attach to the upper bout of your instrument, of your classical guitar. So my first suggestion for you would be to use a less expensive instrument when you first practice putting the device on and taking it off, just so you don't damage a more expensive instrument. Now I will say that the device is very well built with lots of protection, so it will not damage your instrument if you use it properly. But I will also say that when you first practice, if you don't know what you're doing and if you're not careful, or if you drop the thing on top of your guitar, you could cause some damage. For example, sometimes if you place it on too tight and forget to unclamp it and you try to pull it off, you could make some marks on your instrument. So I would suggest using a less expensive instrument, and then when you feel comfortable using the device, you can switch over to a more expensive guitar. For today's video, I'm using this is an Epiphone Pro 1 full-size classical guitar, about 150 bucks. I did use the device on it multiple times throughout the week to get comfortable with it, and I will say that there are absolutely no markings on it. So there's no damage to the instrument. But I would suggest that as you try this, you use this on a less expensive instrument and then move your way up to more expensive guitars. So here's how I attach the Woodside support to my guitars. I like to work with the base alone, so there's a ring you can unscrew and take the top off. Pretty easy to figure out. And then you work with just the base of the device, much easier to handle. Now you'll notice that these two arms move this way. If they're a little bit tight, you can just loosen them up by moving them back and forth. The reason for that is if you have an elevated fingerboard instrument, this will allow you to adjust the device accordingly. Now my guitar has a straight fingerboard there, so the arms will go straight like this, like parallel. The first thing I would do, I would use this lever on the side to screw or unscrew the device so that the reach here is almost tight enough. Let me clarify that. So when you go on the instrument for the first time, you don't want the grip to be too loose or too tight before you clamp it on. When I clamp this on, I like to go with the bottom feet first and then gently put the top feet on. Now see, this is almost tight enough. Okay, it won't really fall off. Okay, it'll stay on, but it's not exactly tight enough. And that's when you use the lever in the back to push that up. And now I have a good tight grip. Okay, so you want to start, before you tighten this up in the back, you want to start with a grip that's almost tight enough, not too loose, not too tight. If it's too loose, then it won't be tight enough when you tighten it up. And if it's too tight to begin with, then you might damage your instrument when you clamp it up. So again, okay, look, I go with the bottom feet first, then I do the top feet second, and I make sure there's a good grip, and I use the lever in the back. I push that up. So now I have a good grip all around. And here's a good way to test it. You want to be able to hold the guitar by the device only. Of course, you can keep your hand down here, just in case, right? And now the guitar it's in good hands, right? It's being held properly, and yeah, that's it. That's my first step. So now the bass is ready to go. Once the bass is ready to go, now the next thing you want to do is put this thing back in. This is the piece that I took out before I got started. So you want to insert that thing in there and screw the ring on. Okay, here we go. Now you'll notice that let me hold this up so you can see. You want to go loosen that up a little bit. You'll notice that this is movable. It pivots around like this, which is awesome. I start by putting this straight down like this. So I want a straight angle there. And then you can adjust later as needed. So this is now going straight up from the device. And we are now ready to insert the bass right here. You can start by going all the way in or all the way out. I usually like my guitar higher up, so I go as high as I could. And I'm gonna tighten that up a little bit. Okay. And now you're ready to try it on. So I'm ready to try this. Now I will say that the bottom of the bass here has a very good grip, and that will prevent the device from sliding up and down your leg. But I am wearing blue jeans and they're a little bit slippery, so I would recommend that you use a gripper like this. Now I always use a gripper anyways. Classical guitarists use grippers quite often, and I use one here as well to keep the guitar from sliding. And now there's a really good grip. Now this is not going anywhere here or here, so it's quite secure. And this is actually quite comfortable. Now I would say that for my body position and for my holding preference, it does feel as if the base of the device is too close to my knee, and it's not moving. It's quite secure, but it feels as if it's going to move. And I would like to bring it closer to my body and farther away from my knee. And I was talking about this arm being able to swivel around, and that's pretty awesome. So you can open this up like this. Okay, you can open it up, and then you can, I want to bring it all the way in towards me. So it was straight before, and I want to bring it all the way in and tighten it up like that and see what happens. Okay, so now I brought the arm all the way in and tighten it up like that. Oh yeah, absolutely. Much, much better already. So this is closer to my body, farther away from my knee. It's a very comfortable feel, very tight, secure. Okay. Now I will say that I often like my guitar a little bit higher than this. So I'll show you one way to bring it even higher. So if that initial position is not high enough for you, it's not high enough for me, you can just take the whole arm off first by unscrewing this ring. And that's the way I do it anyways. And set the guitar down. I would take the bass off for just a minute, and I would remove this small piece. It might be tight at first. I had to use a couple of pliers to take it off. Make sure that you don't damage anything, especially the ball at the bottom there. And then you want to install this longer piece, okay, like this. And you'll have to take the screw off of the smaller arm and screw it in here. All right, so you want to put that in there. And now I have a longer arm. I will say before I put the bass back on that if you want to go even higher than this, they do have, the company does offer an extra piece. I don't think I'll need that. I think this is enough for me. So we put this back in here, and you want to screw this back on, and I'll leave it a little bit loose because I'll show you in a minute. So I want to put the base in, and I want to about this much. Okay, and now remember that I had the arm towards me all the way in, and I'm going to try to tighten it that way, all the way in towards me. Okay, so that's what I have. And now we're going to try, move my camera here, we're going to try this. And I lost my gripper. Here's my gripper. Here's my gripper here. And this is much higher. Let me adjust the angle a little bit. And I would say that this is high enough for me now. So I would be okay with this. I would not want to go with the longer arm. I think you just noticed that the base went down. Let me pull it back up. And the reason that happened is because I didn't tighten this up completely. So I'm gonna bring it up maybe this much or a little bit more. Hold on. Okay, and you want to tighten it real well. And let's try that again. Here we go. And I would say that this is a good grip and a good height for my taste, for my playing style. So it's very comfortable. It's very secure. Let me give you a better angle here. So here's the guitar. Here's my hands. Let me have you see both of my hands maybe. Okay, and the guitar is quite secure. I mean, I'm not holding it with my hands at all. And it's leaning comfortably against my body and on the two legs. And this is high enough for me. I think that pretty much covers it. So what do I think about the Woodside guitar support? How do I like it? How did I like it the first time I opened it up and tried it? Well, I gotta be honest, the first time I tried it a few days back, I wasn't too crazy about it. I was thinking, it's just not for me. It was sliding off and it wasn't comfortable. But I gotta tell you, after using it for 4 or 5 days and moving things around and adjusting and learning how to use it properly, I gotta say that I really like it. I'm really liking this stand, this support, and I would definitely use it moving forward, at least on some of my guitars. It's sturdy. It's stable. It offers different positions. It will keep both of your feet on the floor, which for classical guitarists, that's awesome. It will keep your back straight. It will keep your right shoulder from having to come around, like this when you play with a footstool sometimes. It will keep everything where it's supposed to be. Look, I can hold it without really touching it with my hands, and it's sitting there quite securely. So it's a very secure, safe feeling, and easy to put on, easy to take off. The only thing that I would say is that in order to put this inside my case, I'd have to take this off every time and take the base off, but that's not a big deal. I mean, when you use the footstool, that's even harder because you can't fit a footstool inside your case anyways. So this is even better than a footstool in that way. So I would definitely give this a thumbs up, absolutely. I think the added bonus with the pieces that allow you to bring the instrument higher up if you want to, that's an amazing thing, because everybody has a different preference for the angle of the instrument. I like mine to be quite high, about 45 degrees like that, and the longer arm allowed me to do that, so that's great. So yeah, thumbs up. I'm really liking it. Thank you so much, Woodside Guitars, for sending it. I really, really appreciate it. If any of my viewers have any questions or comments, feel free to write them at the bottom in the comments section. If any of you are interested in buying this for yourself, I'll place some links at the bottom. I believe the website will offer places where you can find dealers so you can buy this for yourself in the United States and elsewhere as well. I think I'll stop here. Great product, liking it a lot. Let me know if you have any questions. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. See you later.